judge recently rejected Diddy's request to postpone his trial due to fresh evidence that implicates 3 additional victims. Diddy's family has also ceased attending his trial, and it is said that Ava Baron Combs' subpoena has been issued for Diddy's adoptive stepdaughter to testify in the forthcoming trial. Social media is ablaze with rumors that Ava Baron Combs is a missing child. Let's take a closer look at the story. A musical composition. Ava
My name's Ava. I'm a Scorpio.
No. What's your last name?
Ava.
What's your other last name? Ava Baroni Combs? Yes, it's breaking news. Diddy adopted a white child. I want you to tell them the story about how I adopted you. But you still have beautiful parents but you're my child also. Please tell the story.
So, I was on the streets, and then Papa Combs decided that he would like to be a caring man. So then he saw me and decided to pick me up and said to come inside and stay with me.
Hey, what are we doing tonight, baby?
Making desserts for our bonfire tomorrow.
Okay.
And like everyone that was invited has to bring something, and then we have desserts, and then like everyone else they bring like food and
revealing the shocking details of Diddy's relationship with Ava Baron Combs. In 2020, Diddy claimed to have adopted Ava Baron, and when she claimed to have been 12 at the time of the video, she actually wanted a black father. During an Instagram Live, Diddy even kissed Ava on the cheek after she claimed to have been homeless before Diddy adopted her. However, a report by TMZ later revealed that Diddy never actually adopted Ava, and Ava's face matched the photos of a missing child who was lost around the same time Diddy claimed to have adopted Ava. I did some research
Around and found some old photos that go back many years. She was with him when she was very, very young, so she is in fact his adopted daughter. Some are saying this woman in the background here is her mother, but nothing is confirmed. You can see she's been with him in interviews, hanging out with Diddy's daughters. She was seen everywhere with Diddy's daughter. Here's another one. And I mean, they go way back. Here's a few more. So it shows that, yes, indeed, they spent time together and they grew up together. This is, in fact, their sister and Diddy's adopted daughter. However, I found a video that is so suspect. I want you guys to check it out and tell me what you think.
This is my life. Because I am a great father, but I'm sleeping with the. Tell me, who do you have a crush on? Tell me that is true.
I don't know about you guys, but that video and the way Diddy's acting raises so many questions. So many are asking, where's Ava Baroni Combs now? This is the most recent photo I found. There's another one I'm going to show you, which is this one right here. But sisters and Diddy
experienced maltreatment in the past, and his family has ceased visiting him. In his lawsuit, former producer Lil Rod claimed that Justin had been involved in the cover-up of an alleged drive-by shooting involving Diddy. Justin and Quincy, Diddy's sons, whom he adopted when he was just 3 years old, have also been mentioned in lawsuits alongside their father. The filing also includes video footage of Justin attending Diddy's K-off parties.
Demeanor or anything on, from that we picked up from Diddy today?
Yeah, it was different than usual. He got into the courtroom with his pad of paper and his pen really intently ready to just take notes. And he looked back into the gallery where he usually sees a row of family members and friends, supporters of his. But when he turned around and looked in the gallery, none of his children were there today. And he visibly looked upset. Now, about 10 minutes into the hearing, his son Justin did come in and sit in the gallery. Diddy turned a second time, looked directly at him, kind of nodded, and acknowledged that his son was in the courtroom today. But you could really tell that it impacted him when he turned back and did not see any kind of friendly face, Connell.
Here's where some of the allegations against his son Justin Combs come in. So all this takes us back to February.
when Rodney Jones, also known as the producer Lil Rod, filed civil suit against Diddy. In his lengthy lawsuit, Lil Rod straight name drops Justin Combs, describing him as someone who solicits prostitutes, underage girls, and workers. There's actually a picture of Justin Combs with an allegedly underage girl shown in the lawsuit. Now, in this specific instance, Lil Rod alleges at least one underage girl came to Diddy's home for a listening party. A sex worker was also apparently solicited and a freak-off ensued. As an aside, this is the same night that Lil Rod alleges Diddy forced him to take a laced shot. He started to feel lightheaded and then woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning, naked next to a sex worker. It's important to note Justin Combs is listed as a defendant on this case because, according to Lil Rod, he facilitated Diddy's alleged RICO enterprise and at times
Justin Combs comes in. So all this takes us back to February when Rodney Jones, also known as the producer Lil Rod, filed a civil suit against Diddy in his lengthy lawsuit. Lil Rod's straight name drops Justin Combs, describing him as someone who solicits prostitutes, underage girls, and workers. There's actually a picture of Justin Combs with an allegedly underage girl shown in the lawsuit now in this specific instance. Lil Rod alleges at least one underage girl came to Diddy's home for a listening party. A sex worker was also apparently solicited, and a freak-off ensued as an aside. This is the same night that Lil Rod alleges Diddy forced him to take a laced shot. He started to feel lightheaded and then woke up at 4 a.m. in the morning, naked next to a sex worker. It's important to note Justin Combs is listed as a defendant in this case because, according to Lil Rod, he facilitated Diddy's alleged RICO enterprise and at times participated. Diddy has a history of abuse when it comes to minors, and sources close to him claim that Diddy's relationship with his adopted son, Quincy, was also incredibly suspicious. Freddie P., an artist who used to work with Diddy, says that he witnessed suspicious behavior between Diddy and his stepson. Quincy Combs alleged Diddy was grooming his son, and this has been happening ever since Quincy was a child.
No, like, why were you so infatuated with a child that wasn't yours? Were you grooming that little boy? I don't even want to start those conversations because that's not your child. You know what I'm saying? And for you to keep him that close, it's like you kept him that close because he might got your secrets because he's not your child. So if he's not your child and you that type of person with that type of character, you don't mind actually doing it to him when he finally reaches a certain age because he's not yours. And you know in your mind he's not yours. And now you keep him real close to you. You make sure he don't go to his daddy. Why? You make sure he's separated with him and you provide him with everything he wants. Why? Got one of them little Michael Jackson secrets. He got one of them secrets that he can't tell nobody because his legacy, his manhood gonna be. And not only that, his brother not gonna look at him crazy. Only Puffy know, only God and Puffy.
Quincy, right?
I don't know. All I'm gonna say is, I don't know.
Y'all be sure, son?
All I'm gonna say is, who's infatuated with another man's son now? Like that. Like you guess that seemed like
Yes. Alleged abuse is what eventually led both Christian and Justin to become abusers themselves. The cycle of abuse Diddy started is now being continued by his sons. Christian King Combs has been named as a defendant in a lawsuit recently filed by 26-year-old stewardess Grace Omar. Grace claims that Christian groped her and sexually harassed her after drugging her with laced drinks at one of Diddy's yachts.
Years old at the time. She believed that the trip would be a, quote, wholesome family excursion, but says it, quote, turned into a hedonistic environment, even describing rampant drug use among sex workers and celebrities who came on board. She believes that the alcohol on the yacht had been laced with drugs because she says women would have one drink and then almost immediately pass out or start falling over. This is, by the way, something that it was also alleged in Jones's lawsuit, that Combs would spike the drinks of different people. But focusing on Christian Combs, Markey says that Christian Combs had been staying at a villa on the shore, but that he would come onto the yacht in the evening to party. And on December 28, 2022, Christian reportedly arrived very intoxicated and then proceeded to pressure Markey to take shots of tequila. She did. Christian allegedly tried to get her to drink more in the yacht's makeshift studio. Omarkey alleges that Christian kissed her neck, kissed her face, as he groped her legs, breasts, and private.
Diddy's children are complicit in the abuse he carried out. Justin is allegedly also involved in the cover-up of a drive-by shooting that occurred at a recording studio in Los Angeles in his lawsuit. Lil Rod Jones alleges that the shooting happened inside the studio where a man identified as G was found wounded and bleeding on the floor. Jones claims that Diddy was present, and Diddy's shooting cover-up told him to lie to the police and hid with his son when the cops arrived for his involvement in an alleged shooting cover-up, according to court documents. It happened on September 12, 2022, outside Diddy's Chalice Studios. Lil Rod says Diddy, his son Justin, and Justin's friend who went by G were all there when things got heated. Lil Rod says he heard multiple gunshots ring out, and later found G on the bathroom floor in the fetal position. Lil Rod says he was bleeding out of his hip and leg area. Lil Rod says he was applying pressure to G's wounds and then asked the crowd to call an ambulance. At that point, both Diddy and Justin Holmes disappeared to another part of the studio. Diddy then gave strict instructions to inform the police that he had nothing to do with the shooting. He also forced Mr. Jones to lie to the police by telling them that G was shot standing outside the studio by a drive-by assailant. So that specific allegation involves Diddy's son Justin, but another allegation and entirely separate civil lawsuit involves his other son, Christian, or King. Combs' Grace Omar K. alleges that Christian Combs sexually assaulted her on a yacht in December 2022, and she says it was facilitated by Diddy to make matters worse. Diddy's kids are actively working to stop their mother's memoir from getting published. This memoir allegedly contains details of how Diddy ran his sex trafficking ring. One of Kim Porter's old friends, Courtney Burgess, has been Kim Porter lawsuit trying to publish Kim Porter's last memoir, but a lawsuit has been filed against him by Diddy's kids. These people aren't even loyal to their...
With Mr. Burgess. He apparently says he owns the rights to a book that was reportedly based on the alleged memoir of Kim Porter. In fact, according to TMZ, Burgess' phone was seized by the feds, and on it was a copy of a flash drive with material that was used in this book. Here's the problem. Christian and Quincy Combs, these are the sons of Diddy and Kim Porter. Quincy's actually adopted by Diddy. But they are reportedly fighting back, and they have sent Burgess a cease and desist letter to prevent the further sale of this book. They argue this is just an attempt to capitalize on Porter's fame and that they own the rights to her IP, her intellectual property, like her diary entries, her potential manuscript. As her heirs, they own it. And they also want an accounting of current sales of the book. To be clear, though, they aren't acknowledging that there is, in fact, a long-lost memoir from their mother. In fact, they've actually denied that before when there was a similar book, a derivative work, we'll talk about that, published by this guy named Chris Todd on Amazon. They were adamantly fighting against that. They said that their mother wouldn't write this. But what they're basically saying is if something should exist...
Given that Hollywood were being pampered by their parents, it is hardly shocking to consider that Diddy might become so depraved. For instance, Moore's mother sold her for $500. Several attendees of Diddy's parties have even come out to testify that they saw parents drop their kids off at Diddy's scoff parties after leaving them alone.
She is taken by her mother to bars so that men will notice them. She's 15 when she comes home one night and an older man they know is in the apartment with the key. She writes, "It was rape and a devastating betrayal." Revealed by the man's cruel question, "How does it feel to be whored by your mother for $500? Do you believe she sold you?
I think in my deep heart, no. I don't think it was a straightforward transaction, but she still did give him the access and put me in harm's way.